the testimony. It's been so wonderful. First of all, I say testimonies are good because it's my favorite two words are me too. And so sometimes God will send us a me too and somebody else to know that you're not dealing with something alone. There's somebody else that's going through the same thing. And they got to do it, so can you. So that is comforting to know that God is an amazing promise keeper. A promise keeper. So my name is Vanessa, and I'm going to give you my testimony. God has been amazing to me. When I was younger, I got pregnant with my first child when I was 14 years old. I didn't give birth to him until I was 15, but I can remember at that time both of my parents were on drugs. And so I didn't have anyone to go to or talk to about it. And I could just remember my friend at that time, I said, hey, I think I'm pregnant. And she took me and we went and had a test and it came back and I can remember going home and I sat on the porch and I knew God from a young age because I didn't have anything else and that's what I had. And so I can remember saying, even though I wasn't living my life right, I could say, God, you got me pregnant. You better help me take care of this baby. And I promise I never had to want for anything. I was 15 years old as a mother and I didn't have to want for anything. God gave me provision to take care of myself, to take care of my baby. Nobody had to buy him anything. Not even socks, a diaper, a wipe, nothing. God gave me provision because it was my belief. And when I said that, those words that I said, God, you got me pregnant, you better help me take care of this baby. He knew that I trusted in him. He knew that I trusted in him. And so and we lived a rough life. I was homeless with my baby. I was in foster care with my baby. But God always made sure I was okay. When I got out of high school, my father passed away. My father was my baby. Even though he had a lot of stuff that was going on, we were still very close. And when he passed away, I thought for a moment that is everything. Like I said, even Daddy, you left me with her. You know her. But in that, he healed me. It took a long time, but he healed me. So much so to when about 22 years old, I was able to buy my first home.
Hey glory, hey glory.
And when we moved into the home, that's when I got pregnant with my daughter. And I just thought like, oh my God, I don't want to have any more children. This is crazy. I don't know how I'm going to take care of this one either. But guess what?
I did it.
God made a way.
Yes.
He made a way.
Yes.
I lived in my house for 9 years. And I promise you, God, I don't know how it lasted. But he made sure I had everything that I needed because I had faith, I trusted in him. After some time we had been living in a house, my kid's father was killed. I didn't ever think I was gonna come away from that.
Jesus.
But I tell you that after it happened, I can remember again taking a brief moment and saying, God, you know the situation. You know what I'm going through, and you're going to get me through this because I can't get through this on my own.
Yes.
I can't get through it on my own.
Yes.
It was so devastating because I had just talked to him, and so for me to I don't know what if anybody's ever lost someone suddenly, but it's not something you're prepared for mentally. And so it took a long time for me to mourn his death because it was just like, I can't believe that this happened. We were going to have a future together. We got 2 babies.
Yes. We
got 2 babies we got to take care of. And God got me through that. Sometimes it was very hard. I lost everything after he passed away. I lost my house. I lost all my cars. I lost everything after he passed away. But it
reset. A reset.
God made a way.
Yes.
I love to stare adversity in the face and say, you think you got me? Not today.
Go ahead.
Because I know something that is higher above you that has more power than you. So you cannot take me out today. I went on to live life and piece my life back together. That's what I say. Piece my life back together because I was just just existing, not living for the longest time. And in bad relationships because I was looking for the relationship that me and my kid's father had shared. Even though it wasn't the best, we loved each other very much.
Yes.
And so as time passed on, I just began to actually press into God because I had said to myself, are you the mother that you would want your children to look up to? And that was like a reality for me because I had to change my life in order to survive because the way I was living, it just wasn't doing me no good at that time. And so I started to really press into God. Again, I lost everything. People will see you and don't even know what you go through. I can say that because probably on the outside, people see me and they thought, oh, she got it together. But everything, all my pieces were falling apart in secret. And I didn't put it on Front Street because I knew God is going to make sure that I'm okay. Even in those times where I didn't feel like I was going to make it, God just stepped in and was like, all you had to do was trust me. So I moved. I ended up moving to North Carolina. That was like my breaking point for me. That was my aha moment that I had with the Lord saying, because He will take you away from what you're familiar with and everybody around to isolate you just for a moment, just to show you who He is. And so that's what He did to me in that moment. He took me away to just show me who He was because I had started depending on other sources for things that I needed help with. And He said, you can't do that. You can't do that because I'm your only help. Everything comes from me. And so I moved to North Carolina and me and my daughter, we were the saddest two people you could ever met in North Carolina. But I learned so lot. I learned a lot. He became everything to me in that moment. So when I came back as a force. When I came back to Pensacola, I came back as a force, willing and open to do what He said He had gave me to do. I started to really tap into Him. I became active in church and different things like that, but I also ended up in that moment creating my own program I call Women of Valor Arise. And what it does is it encourages women to do better. And it encourages us who don't feel like or don't have a support system. You know, we are each other's support system because a lot of us don't have a support system. I didn't have a support system growing up, and that's what really led me to become passionate about making a support system and offering these avenues for other people to come and tap into what. And I don't use religion because I feel like everybody has their own thing, and most people associate people of God bad. And so I said, I just want y'all to have faith. Just know that there's a higher power. And so that is what I started to work on. But of course, when you're doing work for the Lord, the enemy sees you too. And he don't like it. He don't like it because he knows what you hold. Like they say, thieves don't come in and steal paper and pens in your house. What they come and get your money and your valuables. You know, so he really came and started to really pull me apart. He started with the church.
Tell me about it. We know about that. Them church haters.
And so it started to become so uncomfortable to where I had to figure out something to do differently. And so I took some time to kind of find myself and figure out like what was going on. Now through all of this time too, I was also raped. And so I say like, okay God, like that right there took my soul. I don't know if you've ever experienced abuse or anything before, but that right there took my soul.
Yes.
But I'll tell you how God is a healer. Yes. He healed me through that to where I can talk about it and share it and not have no guilt, no shame, because it wasn't nothing that I had to do. It wasn't anything that I did wrong. That was not my fault.
Not your fault, but still right.
Time goes on and my son goes to jail.
Glory.
Oh Lord, the first time he went, I said, okay, I can, try to be here for you. But when he went again, I said, that's not my child. That's not who I made. That's not what God said you were. And so he was upset because I wasn't there. But I told him I wasn't there because that's not who I raised you to be. So instead of sending him money, I sent him books.
Come on. That's right. That's right.
prayer was for my son was, God, I'm not a man. I don't know how to communicate with him. His father ain't here, so you're going to have to show me what I need to do in order to communicate with my son, because I don't want to have a bad relationship like how I had with my parents. I want to stop, like generational curse. I got to stop this right here. You know, so you got to show me what I need to do to stop this right here, because I can't go on forward not knowing that me and my children don't get along the way we should. I tell you, when he got out, before he got out, I prayed. I said, and it's crazy because when he came home, he said, Mom, I was praying the same time that you was praying. I prayed. I said, Lord, when he come here, what you want me to do? How do you want me to handle him? Because that's my baby still. That's my baby still. And so when he came home, I threw all his old stuff away, because he had become this person that I didn't know anymore. And so when he came home, he was a different person. He said, Mom, I had been praying on that Sunday. He wasn't even supposed to get out. That's how God worked. He wasn't even supposed to get out. But they called me the next day. He called me, he said, Mom, they let me out. When he got home, he said, Mom, I was praying saying, I can't be in here no longer. I said, I didn't want you in no longer. So here I am praying, Lord, save him, heal him, deliver him. And he's doing the same thing on the other end. I tell you, he even got in trouble again while he was in jail. But let me tell you how God works. God did that as a wake-up call to him. Because when he got home, he said, Mom, I got this other stuff going on. I said, no, you don't. God said, it's finished. It's finished. I'm going to tell y'all how God worked that thing out. When he went to court, we had a problem. And I said, okay, just get up there and tell them that you're going to hire an attorney. By the time the next week came around, she had called us and said, oh, they want to do a deal. They said, time served. Then when we went to court on that Friday, guess what they said? We dismissed the charges. I'm going to tell y'all how God works. He had already gave me the word saying, it's finished. It's finished. And so my son, he always said, Mom, I don't understand when you say stuff like that, but God has always been whispering to me all the time. And I say, sometimes we got to be still enough to know his voice. You got to be still enough to know his voice. Now he's married, expecting his first child. Come on, God. Come on, God. Come on, God. Come on, God. They're expecting their first. I have another baby, but they're expecting their first baby. But I'm so proud of him. Yes. I'm so proud of him. Yes. And then stuff continued to happen.
Yes, it does.
I got sick with COVID too and was hospitalized. When I was in the hospital, I didn't watch TV, I didn't listen to music, I didn't scroll online. A friend of mine, who is a wonderful friend, I wish everybody can have a person like that, she said, pray. Yes. Pray. The whole time, pray. Yes. When I came home, again, I was a new person because I had spent time with the Lord. And when you spend time with God, He will love on you. He will open up stuff and reveal things to you that you had never noticed before. But sometimes we gotta shut all the noise out around us. We gotta shut it all out so we can actually hear and tap into what He's trying to say. I just want to share today how thankful I am because this girl right here, how y'all see her, all dressed up, smiling. That's not what she's been through. No, girl. And I can say that God washes us white as snow. He washes us white as snow because I can smile. With all of my troubles and all of my things that I've been through, I can smile and say, if it had not been for the Lord on my side, I would not have made it. So I just encourage you today, if you don't have a relationship with God, because I struggled with knowing who I was, what my purpose was, what I came here. Because all of us came here with a purpose to fulfill on this earth. That's what God says. And sometimes I say this: return words that are not you. So sometimes God said in the word, words take form because that's what happened when the earth was first made. It took form because God spoke a word. So don't let people speak words over you that don't resonate with you. You can say, you know what? And you don't have to say it out loud, but you can just think in your mind and say, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't me. That's not me. And let them keep it. And in my mind, I say something simple like, I returned that.